Okay, so apparently the stream died somewhere in there. Well, that's really unfortunate. I was in the middle of doing kind of my whole intro speech. I'm not totally sure when it was that it died in there. Um, yeah, that's kind of too bad. Okay, well, rather than risk it getting lost, I suppose I'll kind of try and hit the high points again. So this week I'm spending a week with the AK, practicing with it, trying to get better at it, and at the same time kind of just exploring how it's played and discussing that. So a quick rundown again. AK is great at one tapping, going for a single shot, uh, long range or close range for a headshot. It's a one shot kill if you hit it. Um, it's good at close range spray downs, and it's okay at bursting, although you can get out bursted by the M4. So, in any case, I was going to run through a few highlights from my play this week so far and kind of discuss what I liked about them and what I didn't. And I also have a clip from one of the viewers, Jub Jubs or Sir Jubs, I guess, in game, uh, that actually shows this awesome ace he did. And there's a couple parts of that that I really want to kind of highlight. So, excuse me. I do apologize as well. I ran into some technical problems, which unfortunately has kind of been the watchword of the week. Uh, and so to try and show these video clips, I will not be playing them from my hard drive. I will instead be attempting to play them from Twitch while I stream to Twitch. It's possible this will just break the stream, in which case I will I guess make a YouTube video with the demo files once I've got them a little more sorted out or something. I'm not totally sure how I'll go about handling that. But in any case, hopefully it'll work. So let's go with this. Okay, so this, first off, we're going to go with some fairly atrocious crosshair placement by me. I'm running around with my knife at the start and I'm kind of looking at the ground and I continue doing that when I pull my gun out and it prevents me from getting any kills and in fact gets me killed. So this is something you should never do. You can see, I mean, right here, I should be looking up. Instead, I'm kind of looking at the horizon point on the ground, which is not how to get kills. I have my knife out, so, I'm like, oh, whatever. But even here, this is pretty atrocious. Partially that's a limitation of my mouse, but you can see here, I wouldn't be able to shoot anybody if they popped out. I'd be shooting pretty much at their feet. uh, Smoke wasn't terrible. But then right here, again, so let me go back over that and pause right at the moment. Well, it's difficult. Right there, you can see my crosshair is right there. There's a CT there. However, I can't I can't kill him. If it was up another centimeter, that would be pretty much a headshot. So now here about a minute later, or 2 minutes later or so. Hopefully this will load. Is somewhat better crosshair placement from me. Uh, so here you can see right there, just looking up where their heads are, not down at the ground, and it results in a headshot. So, and then right there, if they pop up, my crosshair is there. That's not particularly great, but I'm kind of backing off in case that was just kind of immediately following that. I was like, oh right, I have to remember crosshair placement. This is this important thing, and it really you can see it makes the difference between getting gunned down by somebody and getting the kill. Um, so here's a little bit more of kind of while we're on the subject, uh, some crosshair placement from me over the week. This is actually from the same session yesterday. Different map though. We're playing train. So this crosshair placement is okay. That's not ideal. I was kind of looking in the middle in case I need to snap around, but not perfect. Right there's okay. I'm peeking, looking for the headshot. This is all right. I probably should have checked that out a little bit more before I head up there, but it's okay. Uh, so here, you can see I'm peeking around that corner. I keep the crosshair there until I look away. It's all kind of smooth movements. This is a lot better than when I was running around with my knife out on cache, and just looking at the horizon point of the ground where you can't kill anybody. Um, so those are just a couple examples. Here's one where my placement is a little bit off, but because it's still fairly close, I'm able to get him with a burst, even though I can't get him with a tap. So you'll see my initial, I'm here, planting, the guy comes out from connector. I aim kind of about where I think his head's going to be. It's a little low, or a little high. But you can see, right there, yeah, well, too far. But you could see that essentially essentially what I did was, uh, I had my crosshair up here, his head was about here, and I just burst and pulled down a little bit, and the burst kind of compensated for my pull up. And so as I crossed under his head, it pulled it up. And I could do that because my placement was still approximately at his head. So ideally, you want to be there for the tap. You want to have it so that when they peek around, if they're peeking around with an op, it doesn't matter. You're still getting that shot and getting that headshot. But even if you're not there, it's still worth it to keep going for the placement, because even if you're slightly off, it's way better than aiming at somebody's gut or knees or whatever you're going to be doing instead. So now, in kind of a contrast to that, I wanted to show off a little bit of this sample from Jubs, because he has like perfect crosshair placement here on Mirage. Or not perfect at least, but very good. He's aiming for the spots where people would peek as he goes around. And then I'm actually going to stop this right here, so you can see as he comes around here, he has his crosshair aimed right over there, where if somebody peeks, he's going to be ready for it. And then he sees the guy there and immediately transitions down. He starts firing when it's about there, and so he moves down to continue the spray. So I actually want to show off the spray he's going to do there, but I'm going to go over a couple other things first. Okay, so here's some crosshair placement of my own that I'm relatively happy with. This is on Dust 2. Since I play casual, I end up playing quite a lot of Dust 2. It is kind of the go-to map vote. This is, as you can see, also from that same session. So here I'm much better about keeping my crosshair at head level. So I pull out the knife and I aim down. I don't know, that's a bad habit I have. But it does actually kind of set me up for the mid doors. And then as soon as I'm looking over at Cat, I raise my crosshair to head level. You can see I'm much more kind of confident on my Dust 2 placement, and so my movements are much smoother going from where somebody's head would be to where somebody's head would be. Here I kind of lower it down a little bit. I guess I was switching my nade. But yeah, so you can just see, and right there, I'm actually fairly happy with that. The positioning was good on the crosshair. It wasn't perfect, but I then started spraying. I sprayed him down fairly well. Again, it wasn't perfect, but it's better than what I've been doing. You can see that I was trying to follow the spray pattern there too, as opposed to, oh my god, okay. I was gonna say I gotta stop doing that on long streams. But you can see as this guy comes up, so I'm like, oh crap, switch my AK, go for the headshot, miss it, do the spray, and I had to compensate somewhat because he was moving, which is also something I have not been doing very much with my spray pattern work. So I think that was pretty good. That was, that was really decent. Not fantastic, but I feel solid about my crosshair placement in that clip. And I felt pretty decent about that spray. I was very pleased with myself because it's not muscle memory for me to do the spray pattern. So I kind of have to constantly remind myself, don't do this bad habit you've learned. Instead do this the way you're supposed to. And that, like, I have to be thinking about it before I get into the gunfight. So him peeking like that actually kind of was very beneficial, that he didn't kill me immediately. Okay, so let's talk about some sprays a little bit. So again, I've got some clips lined up of my play throughout the last couple of days. Um, and I'm glad to see that doing it this way has not killed it. So that spray right there, uh, I again thought was pretty decent. So I was balancing, and I mean, obviously this is just because I don't yet have the spray pattern down perfectly. I was kind of trying to draw a balance between following the spray pattern and continuing to hit him as he strafed around the corner, which required me to adjust the spray pattern and kind of abandon it and just be like, well, I think this is where I'm at in the spray pattern, and so these bullets will generally hook to the left a little further, um, because I wasn't really sure how quick he'd be gone, whether or not I'd have time to get the shots off. Um, But yeah, and I know this is kind of just like me going and being like, look at me, I'm so happy with myself. But these are the things that I've noticed as a special moments, and they're not even especially great. So I think that that's a key point though, because I'm still improving. Here, let me pop this up here, just so there we go. So I'm still improving. I'm not fantastic. I still got a lot to go. Partially also when I stream, I do tend to get a little into the streaming thing and lose a little focus on the play. But uh, that's on me. I get that's part of the play. I have to stay focused the entire time. So this is a decent spray. I think I get a kill and an assist from this one. Um, yeah. So you can see the reason I wanted to show that is because uh, I get the spray and part of the spray transfer, and that's a key component. Again, it's not something I'm great at, but uh, you really want to be able to spray down a couple of people if they're coming at you like that. Um, and I felt pretty decent about how I did that with the pattern and transferring it. So I missed that dude. But I come around, I am following the pattern while I'm blind, and it works. And then I come back around, and while I still have some of a clip left, I know the kick is going to be. Uh, Actually, I'll leave this play. I think the next clip I wanted to show is in just a minute. Uh, the Yeah, the transfer was good. I compensated for the pattern. I realized where I was in the recoil pattern, and I was able to shift over while maintaining where I needed to be to get the next guy's head. And that's something that I think I'm gonna need to continue to work on. So I was pretty happy to see it. Um, yeah, and then this next part, let's see. I think it. Uh, yeah, it's coming up in just about 30 or 40 seconds. So we can just watch this as I fool around and I can talk about it. So I think I had decent placement there on the crosshair. I don't know train that well. I don't know the signs on the walls to look for or anything to see if I'm lined up correctly. Very true, past self. Uh, that's it's kind of weird hearing myself and seeing all my head there, right above my head. Um, but yes, so I believe this is one where I kind of mess up, and then I'm able to bring it back. So I'm not spraying in the pattern, and then I realize, oh shit, I wasn't, and then I'm able to adjust and kind of aim where I think I should be for where the recoil is going to be at from the shots fired, and it works out. So you see I'm totally missing, and then at the end I kind of pull it back, and I mean it's really, I get lucky. It was just the last bolt in the clip or whatever, second to last is the headshot. But uh, if I hadn't been going for the pattern, I don't think that would have happened. I think I would have been continuing to spray too far in another direction. And so again, that's just an example of even if